All right, our art project is inspired by the book In the Tall, Tall Grass. And in this book, you will see the style looks like cut paper and it's very painterly. So here you can see there are very bright colors. The sky, you'll notice the background usually has more than one color. So in here you can see like yellow and green, another yellow and green, and here's some purples and blues. So you can pick any kind of color you want for your background. And right now I'm going to plan what I want to do for my artwork. And I'm kind of thinking I want to do bees and flowers. I felt like that was a really cool part of the story. So here we go. I'm going ahead, I'm drawing a couple flowers. And I'm thinking about like how do I want it to look in the end. And I'm going to start adding the ground and my plan for like the grass and the stems and stuff. So I'm just going to draw that out. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just an idea. So this does not have to be perfect. So I'm adding the kind of colors I'm going to need to add so that I can paint my paper. And then I will cut my paper later to create the picture. So here I'm doing my background. And for my background, I want to do purples and pinks. Watercolor paint needs a lot of water. So you'll notice I keep my brush wet to move the paint. You do not need a lot of paint. You really need a lot of water. If you just keep going on the paint without having water on your brush, it's wasting the paint. So please, please put water on your brush. All right, I'm continuing just to paint the background with these purples and pinks. I'm adding some blue to kind of give a blue-purple color. All right, now that my background is done, I'm just painting the other colors I need. So I know I needed green, but I'm not just gonna do green. I'm like putting green with some yellow, and now I'm doing the ground color black, brown, and I'm just splashing a little black and gray. And now I'm doing half of the paper for the bee and the other half of the paper for the flower. So now that I have my paper, I'm finding which direction I want it. I'm taking my ground paper and I'm just going to rip it a little to make it more natural looking. I don't want it to look like it's cut with scissors. And then now I'm just going to glue it down. All right, and then I'm going to move on to my grass after I glue my ground. So there's my ground layer. And now I'm looking at the grass and I'm going to turn it over, and with a pencil I'm going to draw out how do I want my grass to look. So there we go, I'm just drawing it out. And after I draw it out, I'm just going to use my scissors to cut it out. And be careful and just cut out your grass pieces. It does not need to be perfect. Grass is not perfect. So just cutting it out, and then I'm going to glue it down to my paper. All right, now I'm going to take the other pieces I cut before, and I'm just going to start saving some of those, and I will be gluing them lower on my paper. So just cutting extra grass pieces. And be careful with your fingers when you're cutting. Always be safe. All right, now I'm just going to be gluing down my grass pieces one by one. And this will help to give my paper more interest. All right, and I'm just going to finish gluing down all my grass pieces. Okay, so now that my grass is done, I'm going to cut my flowers. So I'm cutting my sheet of paper in half, and I am drawing the flower shape. And I'm making 3 flowers, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut around my flower, and then I'll cut out the in-between parts from my flowers. And then I'm just going to put them down on the ground. That one broke, but I can fix it later. Okay, perfect. And now I'm just cutting out the little circles to go in the center of my flowers, just like that. Awesome. Now I'm going to glue my flowers down. And then I'm going to go on to drawing my bee shape. I'm going to use the back of the paper for the wings, and I'll flip the paper over to use the yellow side for the bee. So I didn't want my wings to be super white, but I know they needed to be a little white. So I'm just going to cut those out first, the bees, and decide where to put them on my paper. And then I'm going to cut out the wings and I'm going to glue them on. Okay, and now the last step is I'm going to take some crayons, and then with my crayons I'm going to start adding some details. Like I'm just going to add some squiggly lines, give it some more texture. And I'm going to give the bees their stripes, and I'm just going to give them a little more detail. All right, and then I'm going to come in with my black. I'm just going to keep going around and adding details to my grass and my ground, and even add a little bit of white for clouds and then shadows. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed your project.